Hi there, good morning, and a warm welcome to Frugalfull, and coffee cheers to you from the Crazy Cat Lady, also known as Lara. This is a frugal living and budgeting channel, and I've popped on to have a chat to you today about May and decluttering this month. So, as you'll know if you've seen one of my previous Friday videos, was it Tuesday or Friday? Yeah. It was either Thrifty Tuesdays or Frugal Friday chat video, plus my shorts for this month. If you've seen any of them, you'll know that the month of May, I've grabbed the bull by the horns and I'm doing a mass declutter this month. Are you doing any decluttering this month? If so, whatever scale of decluttering project you're doing, whether it's 1 item, 100 items, 1,000 items, would love to hear how you're getting on, how you're finding it, and any thoughts, ideas, suggestions, questions you have around decluttering as a topic. Would love to hear in the comments, so please share with us. That would be fantastic. So yeah, the decluttering process, it's a long time coming. So I thought I'd have a chat to you about how it's been going so far this month and just my thoughts around that. So what I'll do is I'll explain a bit as well about what's led me to this point. So I've always been someone who loves a bargain, especially in the charity shops, who finds thrifty ways to do things. I have that kind of just in case mindset, and I like to repurpose and upcycle things, and I have that kind of environmental mindset as well, that awareness about recycling and don't like throwing things out. All these things over the years, plus the fact I'm scarily in my 5th decade at the age of nearly 42, it's a lifetime worth of accumulation of stuff as well. This is what happens. And it's just kind of, I knew that I had clutter and I have decluttered in the past a bit, like for example, as many people probably did in 2020 during the lockdown of the pandemic. When I was at home at those times, I did go through quite a few clothes and declutter things like that. And there have been phases when I've had house moves and that kind of thing where I've done a bit. But it's been more just decluttering just enough to squeeze my stuff into the space. And when I say squeeze my stuff into the space, I mean squeeze my stuff into the space. And I do have a loft here. I live in a 2-bedroomed flat and I have a loft and I make use of the loft. So when there's a space, it can often tend to get filled. And that's what's happened with me. And now, before I've known it, like I've been here over 5 years, and suddenly it's dawned on me. I'm like, wow, I really want and need to clear out a lot of things. And I don't know if you've heard of something called Swedish death cleaning. There's a really amazing sounding book that I'd love to read, but I've been learning a bit about what's in the book from podcasts and things. It's called The Gentle Art of Swedish Death Cleaning. And the idea is that it's not just about, one of the big premises in the book is about having a major overhaul and declutter so that our loved ones, when we pass, don't have, on top of the emotional grief and bereavement, the stress of dealing with our stuff and wondering about what we want done with our stuff, each individual item. It's very mentally energy draining, mentally draining, dealing with each item and making decisions. But if that's about another person's things, and we're not quite sure what they would have wanted, that would add even more difficulty, exhaustion, strain to it. So it's partly to do with that. So it's also, though, about, because I'm hoping that I won't be going anywhere for a long time. I really hope, please, universe, please. So for me as well, that's part of it, but there's also, for me, the biggest part is so that I can free up my life to live in the present moment. Because quite often our things can be connected to past versions of ourselves. Things we maybe wanted to do or achieve, or hobbies we wanted to learn, or some kind of skill we wanted to learn and never got round to it. And I know for me, I've got things, or I had things, I've started letting go of some of them. And it was to do with, one day I'd love to learn to do this or gain this skill or be able to do this practical thing. So I had the things to do with that, which I've now sold and let go of some, but still got a ways to go with that. And it's things like letting go of course notes, paperwork will come a lot later, most of that. But there's all these kinds of things that they mount up over time, because throughout our lifetime we build up such a rich past of experiences, and there are the things that are attached to that, and we become attached to the things because they're tied to our memories. And it can be hard to let go because there can sometimes be that fear of losing those precious memories. But what I'm gradually learning as I go from amazing people out there online, including a wonderful, wonderful community and podcast pair called the Declutter Hub. They're fantastic. If you've never seen them, I really recommend them. They're brilliant, Ingrid and Leslie. So I'm learning so much from them. They are so experienced as professional organisers, and they're helping so many people through their communities. And it's lovely to get involved in that and learn from them. So it's like one of these things where it's going to be an emotional journey, just like with the weight loss. And I'm hoping the two are going to go hand in hand, because I've been stagnant and stuck with that as well. Just like with kind of feeling overcrowded with things. And I think the two will really, really complement each other, because there's an emotional release with both. There's a letting go with both. So it's not just letting go of past things. And there could be ways, actually, just to say about the past things, there could be ways in that to still hold on to the memories. Like sometimes with some things, people say if you take photos of the items, I know it's not the same, or just keep the most favourite of the things, because otherwise you're sort of diluting. If you've got many of the things, then it's too overwhelming. You can't really get the benefit of the special memories of the thing. But if you keep the most special part, or take the most special bits and turn it into something, like you could say if you had an amazing collection of t-shirts that don't fit, but you love the logos, you could cut them out and make a pillowcase or a bedspread. I don't know, just off the top of my head. There's ways. So this is the kind of stuff through this process of learning to do these things. And then also it's letting go of future things that are an elusive future, that might not even be the future that you want, and could be fear-based. So things like the just-in-case items, keeping things just in, like I had some footwear in my loft. I had some spare pairs of boots, and it was for not just in case, kind of just in case, and kind of when I eventually got to the point that I'd worn out the boots that I had, and then I could then just get my new ones out of the loft, just in case by that point the price of these things had gone up so high that it was just really unaffordable for me at that point. So that's a kind of fear-based thing to hold on to. But what actually ended up happening is, when I was in the loft, this was last year, I discovered that, I don't know, there's a different level of heat in the loft, I guess, different kind of climate, I guess, up there. And the sun's coming in through the skylight and it's very dry and whatnot, which is good. I'm glad it's not a damp loft. But what had happened is the upper, which is a synthetic upper, had all started disintegrating. So I had to throw them away. They got ruined anyway. So I might as well have just enjoyed them in the present. And there was no point having all these spare things just in case. So that's a kind of example. Or it could be just in case things could be to do with us putting ourselves under pressure to become something that actually it turns out we don't want to be, or do something that we don't want to do. Because none of us know, and we change our minds, and life throws curveballs, or unexpected things happen, great things or not so great things, and life can change and we course correct. And so sometimes the things we hold on to for the future aren't actually even relevant when the time comes, or they get damaged in storage, like what happened with my footwear. And it's actually just sometimes just weighing us down. And there's that thing of, if it's something that can be bought, if it's ever needed at the time, why be burdened with it in the present for a future that may never come, or a version of our future that may never happen? And sometimes when, I know with me, I've bought things because I've thought someday I'm going to do this and be this, or train to do this, and then I'll have the gear I need. And it's like, actually, I don't really want to do those things now. I want to go a different path now. And so the bottom line really is, with me decluttering, one of my big goals is letting go of past and future things. I will keep a small amount, but there'll be things that are relevant to what matters to me now. And it's about present me, my home and my space reflecting who I am now. Present day Lara, it being about what is important to me now. And then that is going to enable me to live my fullest life, a frugal and full life now, because I'm not being saddled with the burden of things that are no longer relevant to me now, but out of maybe emotions like guilt or shame or fear, holding on to stuff that's just not relevant to life anymore, but actually gets in the way of living life now. This might sound dramatic, but it's actually really quite a shock when the reality sinks in that our things can really control us, they can own us, and they can have such an emotional impact. And I think too, as I let go of things, it's going to create so much more energy. Like already there's a momentum building here and it feels great. And this is just the start. So very excited to share this journey with you. Very excited. And then another massive benefit. So for me, it's getting aligned so that my things and my home and my space is curated for me now, to help me live my best life now, that's relevant to me now. And the other big thing about that is to give me freedom in the here and now to actually live how I want to live, and have my belongings support me in achieving my goals, rather than holding me back and being a barrier from my goals. And that's a really big deal, to have our things support us in our present goals, rather than be a barrier or block our goals or create a massive hurdle to overcome to achieve goals. So it's going to feel great to get closer to that. It's going to involve a lot of emotional deep diving, because it will be hard letting go of certain things, certain sentimental things. But I'm not saying that all the sentimental things will go, not at all. But it's about really curating it and being more intentional about it. And this is one of the reasons why, pardon me, I feel that frugality and not minimalism so much, I guess minimalism, to me, like I've said in a past video, it's streamlining things, decluttering, simplifying, and frugality, and how they go hand in hand. Because life in the modern world can really overwhelm us. There's so much excess all around us, whether it's excess of advertising, excess of things, of mental stimulation all around us that's very distracting, too many things, physical things, digital things. It's all distracting and it's noise, and it can really, really interfere with the clarity and the simplicity we seek. So I just feel that this is going to be such a rewarding journey, and it's lovely knowing that there's other people out there who are striving for the same kind of goals, personally meaningful goals, but aligned. Everyone's goals are aligned in that kind of vision of less is more. And for anyone that wants to join me on that journey, it's just so exciting to have you join me. And let's do this together. And I wish you all the very best with letting go of things that no longer serve you in your life, and having a more intentional mindset about how our space can serve us and how our space can complement our life now and work together with our things in the present and to build a brighter future. So thanks a million for watching. I may have gone off on a wee bit of a tangent, but I love to just have a thrifty, frugal Fridays chat straight from the heart and just express what's on my mind. And if it resonates for anyone, then that's absolutely fantastic. And if you're here with me just now, still made it to the end, thanks a million for watching. I wish you a fantastic Frugal Friday and a fantastic weekend. And say hi in the comments. And I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.